Right, and up close and personal में मैं आपको सबसे पहले introduce कराना चाहूँगी to we have two lovely guests on set. Both of them are accomplished in their own fields. One of them is an MMA fighter. She's been on the show before with me as well, and it's been a while since since we've had her on the show again. And we have another lady who's going to be here, who's a fashion designer who I haven't happened to interview yet, but she has been on the show as well. So let me introduce them now that I've sensationalized it enough. पहले हम introduce कराएंगे आपको Parisha Adnan से, who's a fashion designer, an actress, and a CEO of Amir Adnan, Funk Asia, and House of Parisha. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Raja.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Okay, and then आप लोगों को introduce करना चाहूँगी with Iman Faisal Khan, who's an MMA fighter and IMMAF Asian gold medalist. Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
How are you guys doing?
Good, good.
How is International Day, Women's Day treating you guys so far?
Good. Can't
so far,
complain.
so good?
Yeah, I know. I walked in here and I was like, you know, how is this different from any other day? And then she reminded, she's like, you know, it's good to have a day where you can actually be aware of the fact that we need to
be celebrated.
Be celebrated.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. So, you know, what are your views about Women's Day? Let's go with you first and then you.
Sure.
Sure. Yeah.
I think, like I said, we were already having this discussion off camera, and like every day we are in this struggle ourselves, and we're doing it on a daily basis. You wake up in the morning and the grind starts. मतलब शुरू से आपका दिन जहाँ से शुरू होता है, जहाँ ख़त्म होता है, बीच में सारी चीज़ें जो होती हैं, we as women, we know exactly what the grind is, we know what the hustle is. लेकिन जब साल में एक बार ऐसा दिन आता है जहाँ पर पूरी दुनिया I think recognize करता है कि आपकी contribution क्या है society के अंदर, आप what are you giving back, all of these things. I'm happy that it's actually come to this point where we're able to celebrate it and talk about it, and
absolutely,
honored to be a part of this.
Of course. And what about you, Iman? How does this day feel different to you at all?
Honestly, it's a name. You know? I think women should be celebrated every single day.
Of course.
But it's good to have the reminder. Okay, like this is how far, and we were talking about this before the show, that you realize how far you've come.
Of course. You
know, when you're in the moment, and this day for me is a reminder of how long it's taken me to feel this confident, to walk into every room.
Absolutely.
You know, with the confidence, and it's a really great. I mean, it should be a daily reminder, but it's a good yearly reminder.
Yeah, of course. And, you know, I think every day you guys are hustling anyway, right? So I'm following Iman on Instagram, and I know that she's been working out. And there are days when, you know, you actually record it, and there's a long jump that you do as well. And I think it took you a while to get there, and you were actually tracking that progress, and I was tracking the progress with you. So I feel great, and you know, unfortunately, I'm not following you.
I'm following you. I was telling her, I was like, wait a minute, you used to do the horoscope.
Yes,
I was like, oh my God, I know who this person is. I feel like that's why I was like, wait a minute.
I hope आप लोगों का रोज़ा अच्छा गुज़र रहा है, and you know, I'm having such a lovely conversation with Iman and Parisha right now, and हम लोग commercial break में actually it got really real and really live as well, and we were discussing कि किस तरीके से औरतों को सिर्फ कभी-कभी competition, you know, आपस में और industry में नहीं fight करना पड़ता. Sometimes it's people that you least expect will get competitive with you, and let's ask them about their journey, right? So Parisha, you were telling me something about the fashion industry and how sometimes people look down and condescend newcomers, and even if you're a woman, how does it feel?
It actually feels a lot like gatekeeping, and sometimes I really think about this, and like I think about this often. Alhamdulillah, I have a lot of privilege which I'm sitting on, right? But I think about sometimes that, you know, I can bypass a lot of these people's hate that's directed towards me primarily and solely because Alhamdulillah, I've been gifted with so many opportunities that people don't have.
Of course,
And then
do you think you get hate because of that?
Absolutely.
Because you're Amir Adnan. Yeah, of course.
More.
Yeah, just because they feel like as if, you know, isko to fayda milta hai because she's...
But here's the thing, right? The expectation then doubles.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm like living under this crippling weight, like, okay, here we go. But, you know, now I'm in this place where I've kind of overcome it, but
of course,
realistically growing up, that was a big thing, and it still is. People
but listen, did you ever feel that crippling weight from your parents though?
Never.
I've hung out with your mum, she's pretty cool.
Never.
Right?
Actually, they didn't even tell me to get into this field. They were like pushing me to do other things, and I was like,
what would you have done had you not done that?
I've done a lot of things. I've done acting, like you mentioned.
Yeah, no, but like if you were not doing this, what would you be doing?
Well, honestly, I feel like Allah Mia has a way कि मतलब आपको वही करना होता है जो आपकी डस्टबिन में लिखा होता है, चाहे आप अपना हाथ हर 1000 जगह मार लेना वहीं पर
वही एक्सपीरियंस यूज करके
हाँ मैंने कंसल्टिंग भी कर लिया, आई लिव्ड इन लंदन, मैंने ये भी कर लिया वो भी कर लिया, हजार कामों में हाथ डाल दिया, एक्टिंग भी कर ली पिछले रमजान।
ओह वाओ।
यस एंड नाउ वी आर सिटिंग हियर एंड आई एम लाइक you know what, जो भी होता है बेहतरी के लिए होता है और जो नहीं होता वो और बेहतरी के लिए होता है।
Very well said. I really like that thought. What about you, Iman?
I kind of agree with her. Like you know, there is a certain level of competition, but when you're confident within yourself, and I also agree with Parisha, like I've come from a position of privilege, and I recognize that privilege, and I recognize that people don't like that privilege, but
they just think, you know, girls like you maybe have it easy.
Yeah, but
it's not easy.
Like I train for upwards of 4 to 6 hours a day. I focus on my diet, my working out, my fighting. It's a job for me. From morning till night, I'm putting in the work, which doesn't make me any better or any worse than anybody else who's putting in the work. You know, I feel like people criticize other people if they're not doing much better.
Not doing much because it's their own projection of lack, basically. If you think about it in a way. Right? So, you know, Iman, tell me something. Whenever you have, you know, an issue with a girl or another man in the industry,
no issues with anybody.
You know, if they're holding you back, no, let's just keep it real. Like, sometimes do you just invite them to the ring? I'll see you there.
It's a really good way.
Yeah.
Like sparring ke liye invite kar lo. Honestly, I don't think I have issues with anybody. I found people have issues with me.
Okay, hold that thought, hold that thought. Without wasting any further time, we wanted to see who has an issue with Iman. How many people? Jisko masla hai, wo aake usse ring mein rabta kare.
No, I feel like there is a lot of competition, especially in such a competitive combat environment. I don't have any issues with people having issues with me. I actually think it facilitates healthy competition.
Of course.
You know, I think...
And as an empowered woman, you know, you don't want to focus on things that are not going well. You're somebody, as an empowered woman, you're going to focus on your heights.
Yeah. I feel like my perspective on this is that if I can motivate somebody to want to be better than me, even if it's not through not liking me, if you don't like me enough to want to be better than me, I'm good. I've inspired you in a way that I can be satisfied with.
But, you know, Iman, have you actually managed to, you know, mentor a girl or train her or bring her into the fold with you?
Yeah, so several girls, like literally Thursday evening, I was talking to a girl who has a fight today, actually, tonight.
Nice.
And I was giving her advice and she's
oh my God, I think I know which fight you're talking about. I'm invited to that fight.
Okay, I'll see you there. Yeah.
I'll see you there.
Yeah, so it's good. Like I sparred with girls that same day. I'm very open.
Oh, lovely.
I don't mind. Like my eventual goal is to further athleticism for women in this country because hum itne piche reh gaye hain, and I feel like especially in my field, men have dominated for so long. It's really refreshing to see women who want to move forward,
make a difference and make a name. Of course, absolutely. So, you know, Parisha, you know, considering that, you know, you mentioned earlier that you've had to live kind of under the expectations and, you know, the weight of, oh my God, ye Amir Adnan ki beti hai and Huma Adnan. So how do you deal with that? You know, having a powerful woman, you know, who's at the same time quite gentle from what I observe, your mum, has she ever been tough on you? Has she been that figure that you've looked at, or is it?
So between my parents, I think my mom is the more strict one.
Yeah?
She is,
she has
bigger expectations than anybody else. But for me, like growing up, initially I did not understand that. My father and I share a brain. So we are the same person. But my mom and I have always been at odds growing up as well. And so she's not only been my biggest support, but also the person who pushes me the most, right? And so obviously, like every Women's Day, I'm always like honoring her as well in this regard.
Lovely. Yeah, that's
but realistically, like the thing is that like growing up, it makes you feel like
you're not good enough.
Like you're not good enough. But as you grow older, right, the thing is you get this really deep, thick skin. And now anyone can say anything to me and I'm like, my
so she kind of prepared you.
So bring it, let's go.
So she kind of prepared you.
Yes, absolutely.
How lovely is that? So, you know, having strong mums or having mums that can train us to live life, I think एक बहुत बड़ी चीज़ है. So if I ask you to name a woman who's really inspired you, both of you, any one of you can go first. Any woman that's really inspired you? Any fighter that's really inspired you?
Lots of fighters have inspired me. One of my favorites is Valentina Shevchenko, but I would like to touch on my mom also because...
Is she watching?
She is watching.
Okay.
Because I feel like she has said that if she had the chance, she would have gone into boxing or MMA or something.
No way.
She did not have that opportunity or chance before. And now that she sees me in this, she's like, I wish I could have done that. And I feel like I sense the warrior, where I inherited that warrior combat ability from. It's definitely my mom.
But listen, if you think about it, your mom wanted to be a fighter back in the day, jab to koi soch bhi nahi sakta tha, right? So you're actually kind of living on that dream for her.
Yeah, I think
More
she's a
power to
fighter.
that.
She's a fighter in her own way, even if she doesn't wear gloves and punch people in the face. Thank God for me. But she is a fighter.
I'm sure bachpan mein to padhi hongi. Huh? I'm sure you did.
No, she's amazing. But I love her fighting spirit is undeniable. It's unbreakable. I've never met a woman stronger than her.
How lovely. You know? Shout out to both the mums and my mum too. Since we're talking about mums, I don't want you to feel left out. All right. So what is the main change you want to see in the fashion industry for young girls? जो लड़कियां इंडस्ट्री में एंटर करना भी चाह रही हैं, you know, I would honestly feel like as if the market is so saturated, what's the point really? I would think. So how is it one way in which you stand out, Parishay, and how is it that you want to continue standing out with other women, maybe taking you as an example?
Okay, well, there's two parts to that question. First of all, what change would I like to see in the fashion industry? I would like to see a lot more people supporting people, and actually I feel like the institutions that are actually teaching fashion, they're doing so from a perspective that is quite westernized and not really focused or geared towards the local industry. And a lot of them are doing so where they focus on textile. And we were having this conversation off screen too, and I was like, look, there's a difference between fashion textiles and giants and things like that, and what I would think is art, or kind of pushing the boundaries against what people think is a norm, right? And
your fashion show really did push the boundaries.
Absolutely, it really annoyed a lot of people.
And there was a lot of hype. No denying the fact that you're probably one of the only and the first Gen Z who has managed to push something like that.
Girl, me too, it's okay.
Right? So, I mean, isn't it? Because, you know, no one's actually done a ramp walk like that. No actually
it was different.
Like that.
I also think the beach show was the one that kind of hit it home, because that was the first show in Pakistan's history that's ever been done on the beach, live. And so there was a lot of hype around that. I feel like that was the main one.
That was the main one,
yeah. For the creation of that hype. But for me, it's not even about that hype. It's about telling people out there, like the younger generation who are getting into it, right? It's like, you know what, like, don't make the thing for the giant. Do it for yourself.
Do it for yourself.
Yeah, like she said. If
personalized fashion choices honi chahiye. And now we have wardrobe specialists as well that are actually dressing you according to your lifestyle. So fashion itself has changed.
Exactly. And more than that, I feel like it actually is an expression of self. I've always believed that to be true. You cannot, like, for example, with me as well, like, I will not dress in something I've been told to dress in because I will not feel comfortable.